And this is very important in reference to prosecuting government and their violations of estate law and trust fund laws and quality of life laws in reference to my career in the entertainment industry and residuals and revenues that the government has been blocking me from for over 30 years. The history of government trying to steal my identity. People trying to steal my identity is a violation of quality of life. Them trying to steal what I was born into, such as wealth of my parents and grandparents. My parents planned my birth. It is documented in history when my parents planned my birth. And the activity of government people. The whole situation is going to be a situation of law where things are going to be judged based on factual wealth, factual history of wealth, factual history of old wealth, and history of prosperity, history of accomplishments, history of things, everything that these people tried to steal from me, everything that they tried to claim. They tried to steal my family wealth and accomplishments and what my parents had invested in and dividends and revenues. And these people are trying to steal the quality of life of my life. These people stole from my parents. These people murdered my parents. So you know they stole the quality of my parents' life when they murdered my parents. Because my parents had very long lifespans, and it is documented. These activities of the government, marking on the body, damaging things on the body, that is a violation of quality of life. Causing split ends or causing damage on the body, causing dents or bruises or scarring, that's a violation of quality of life. Everything is documented. These people are going to be judged on every single day that they've held me hostage, every single time that they stole from me, every single time they made an illegal stipulation of their opinion or any opinion of anybody when they had kidnapped me from my mother and father's mansions. Any type of opinionated accusation or opinionated thing that they tried to say as their way of blocking me from my fame and fortune and history and accomplishments and wealth and revenues of any kind, social media revenues, history of revenues, land or property that my parents owned, grandparents owned, which I am the owner of, and then somebody else say, oh, what about their quality of life? That's not my problem. My parents afforded a lifestyle for me. Plus, there's lawsuits against the government for what they have done. Them not paying the lawsuits is a violation of my quality of life. Everybody has to earn their career, or they earn their way in their life. I was born wealthy. My parents was born wealthy. So in reference to my category of things is different than other people. Other people have a different quality of life or a different history, a different culture, different guidelines of their own family law. The government's trying to cause damage on my skin for their claims if they thought they were funny, claiming they were marking on somebody. I'm not their race. I'm not their child. I'm not their property. I'm not their friend. And my friends wouldn't have a right damaging anything of my body, and neither would anybody of my race or religion. So in reference to the point of these people, every second of every day, these people have to be judged on their violations of trying to cause damage to my quality of life. Whether it's them damaging my teeth, them damaging my face or nose or marking on me, them trying to put their shit stain on somebody's body, them trying to put their branding or their activity of trying to put their shit markings or their stink on somebody else's body, in reference to them trying to cause me injuries, them trying to put their shit on me, them trying to put their stink on me is attempted fucking murder. I come from a different financial wealth class. I come from the 1% of the 1% of the richest people in the world. Isn't that documented? And then somebody else say, well, they thought your family lived too good. You didn't make the investments. You didn't make the money. You didn't create the companies. You didn't create the business. So what your opinion is illegal. And you must get prosecuted for your hostage game of trying to call me a laborer. It has to be kind of documented this way because it sounds silly to some people, and some people that work in those types of jobs, they say whatever, but whatever they might say. But the point of it is these people have played their game of stealing from me, and that is a crime. These people tried to ruin my quality of life. They tried to steal my education credentials. They tried to waste my history of education and universities and private schools that I went to. These people are just violating, like for instance, people have children. There's people out there in the world that have children, and they plan their days for their children. They plan for them to go to school. They plan their lunches. They plan their clothes. They lay out their clothes. They do all kinds of things for their children, right? And then some fucking outsider just fucks up their life. Tries to turn their life upside down, inside and out. And then fucking laughs about it, thinking they're fucking funny. Because they're trashy government people. Or they're trashy people trying to rip off other people. These dirty government people. Think about it. When you put the time into something, or your family puts time into something, or you put something into your career, or your family history, or your performances, and then some satellite man just tries to fuck everything up, or some government man tries to steal everything. Just think about it in the analogy of a person trying to plan their day, trying to organize their life all the time from dirty people or bad people or people trying to drag them down, toxic people, abusive people, hateful people, 7 deadly sins, fatal attraction crimes against government, financial crimes of fatal attraction against government, gold-digging thieves, tricksters, liars, perverts, people trying to play their sexual invasion of another person's life, people raping the person, people mutilating the person, people sexually assaulting the person, government people trying to mess up a person's looks to try to make them have to date a lower class, or their activity of damaging a person's looks because they thought if they fucked up a person's looks that they would have to choose somebody in a lower class or a different career that's rough and tough, or looks like a rough kind of person, or a person that's kind of ragged or something. These people think they're funny doing that shit. That's why my parents had guidelines in reference to girls that I'm allowed to date and types of history of relationships. And I'm friendly with different kinds of people. Most people know that. But this is about government ripping me off, stealing from me, or anybody else trying to steal or trying to take advantage of the hostage situation of people ripping me off, people trying to steal my mother and father's money and companies and estates, people trying to play their game of their thoughts of them thinking they had some type of advantage when they're on my mother and father's company properties, and they're trying to play their tricks, or they're trying to play their manipulations. That is fraud. And those people need to get prosecuted for all their abuses and lies. And them damaging my skin, that's a violation of quality of life. Something that sticks out like a sore thumb, or something that sticks out like an eyesore or something. Something that's like, oh, wait a minute, that's not good. That's fine. Who's doing that? What race? What color is their skin? What color is their race? What color is their ethnicity? Who are they? What religion are they? They don't have a right abusing people, making shit up on people to attack them because they were trying to find a way, or they were trying to find a use for satellite weaponry. That's why it was outlawed. Because the dumb idiots before did that shit. And these people murdered my father. Then my father was frozen. These government people have been terrorizing my life. These government people murdered my parents. They murdered my mother. My father and my mother. The government only had one mother and father. They both had lengthy names. Business names, corporate names, birth names, a family history too. So in reference to these government people trying to steal things or trying to manipulate, their people need to get prosecuted for their crimes of them trying to downgrade the quality of life that my parents gave to me. And these people trying to play their game of their hatred, their helter-skelter, their mutilation games, they're causing hiccups. The activity of government violating my rights, my life, my personal anatomy, my family history, my genetics, my anatomy that they have caused damage on. They must get prosecuted for their crimes of violating my quality of life and the quality of life of my parents and the wealth of my family history plus. So in reference to these government people trying to downgrade me and trying to downgrade my life, they must be prosecuted for their crimes every second of every day that they have been blocking me from my mother and father's mansions. And since the first day they kidnapped me from my mother and father's mansions, and somebody wanted it known that when they had kidnapped me, the maids and butlers of my mother and father's mansions had filed police reports about these people kidnapping me. And the maids and butler reports need to be on a website so everybody can see it, because there's so much evidence against these bad people and their lies, and they're violating my rights and my quality of life and my accomplishments, and those people must get ordered into court for their crimes. And the Royal Protocol of my identities in the media, it says what I'm the owner of, it says who my parents are, my biological parents, it says who my biological parents are, it says who I am, and these satellite controllers marking on my body are not in the Royal Protocol documents of my anatomy. Neither is the teeth damage or any of the other fucking bullshit they tried to do.